Strike first, strike hard, no mercy, Cobra Kai. Hello everybody, I'm Casey Mazereski. Today I'm going to review the new Cobra Kai series that's recently debuted on YouTube. But first, please hit the subscribe button down below, join our channel, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So, Cobra Kai is a new series that was created by YouTube. It just came out that takes place, it's a follow-up to the Karate Kid trilogy, and takes place 34 years later in the present day. And I love it. And it's, like I said, it follows up the original Karate Kid trilogy. And Karate Kid, whether you loved it or hated it, I was a fan of it growing up. And as I got older, there's some things I looked at, it was like, oh, that's kind of a little cheesy and hokey and just Hollywood magic. But there was a lot of good life lessons and good messages in the original Karate Kid trilogy that whether you love or hated the film, those lessons are still true and have value. And this new series, at first I was very skeptical. I first heard about the series like 3-4 months ago that it was going to come out, and I didn't even watch any of the previews for it because I thought maybe it was going to just be another cheesy rehash kind of thing that's lately been going on with a lot of classic movies from the 70s and 80s and 90s. But just about a week ago, I caught one of the trailers on YouTube. I watched the whole thing, and it's one of the more recent trailers. The first trailer I saw, I was like, and I thought it was kind of funny. I said, all right, I'll give it a chance. And about 5-10 minutes into the first episode, I was hooked. And within 3-4 days, I binge watched all 10 episodes, and it's great. Not going to give away any spoilers in any major plot points, but basically the series now, like I said, takes place 34 years later, and it shows us Johnny Lawrence, who is the bad guy and the bully in the original Karate Kid. He's now kind of the focus of the show. And I found myself, like I said, in the first 5-10 minutes, kind of really empathizing with him and starting to root for him. He becomes like the whole anchor of the whole show. And it's really well written, it's well acted. I feel like this is not an acting type review channel or movie critic channel by any means, but there's not a whole lot in it where you're like, oh man, this is kind of cheesy or hokey. The acting is, I think, really good. And it's just a really believable and really great show. And it shows how, after the events of the first Karate Kid, when Daniel LaRusso defeated Johnny Lawrence in the All-Valley Karate Tournament, Johnny's life kind of deviated and kind of went down the wrong path, and now here he is, he's trying to get his life back on track through karate, martial arts. And at the same time, on the opposite end of the spectrum is Daniel LaRusso. His life has become very, very successful. He's wealthy, successful, he's got a family, everything's good in his life, but along the way he kind of stopped his martial arts training, and he's lost focus too, and he's losing that balance in life. And it's great how they each use martial arts to kind of get their lives back on track and back on focus. Johnny especially, like I said, he's become divorced, he's borderline alcoholic, he's living, he's almost homeless, he's working a dead-end job, he doesn't have any relationship with his son, with anyone in his family, he kind of lives as a loner, and he almost becomes a Mr. Miyagi-like character, but in a different way. He uses the lessons of the Cobra Kai Karate School to bring his life back on track, and it's interesting to see how life kind of goes, full circle. And in 1984, when the original series came out, the original movie, I should say, came out, how the world needed kind of a Mr. Miyagi, a more compassionate and patient and caring type mentor, and that was That was exactly what was needed at that time and place. And now in 2018, the world's kind of gone to the opposite extreme. Kids today are very coddled. I've seen it. I see it as a martial arts instructor. I see it as a police officer. My father here at the school has been saying it for definitely the last 20 years. And especially in the last 10 years, he's noticed how kids today are less motivated. They just focus on their electronic devices. They have no discipline. They have no focus. And really, they're too sensitive. They don't have any toughness. They can't handle adversity. And that's a big thing because Johnny in the series is telling the kids that he's teaching now, life's not going to be fair. Life's not going to be always good. Everything's not going to go the way you want. And you have to learn how to be tough. And he says to his students, if you can't be tough on the inside, how do you ever expect you're going to be tough on the outside? And that's true. We've kind of as a society gotten too much about caring about everyone's feelings and making sure kids never get insulted or offended and have nothing bad in their lives and nothing adverse happen to them. And that's not preparing them for adulthood in the real world. And Johnny, as he's teaching his students, he is at times rough. He's not as rough as Sensei Kreese in the original films were, and he's a little bit more compassionate than Sensei Kreese was. But he really hammers home all the lessons of the Cobra Kai Dojo. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy. Is that probably the best philosophy to have with another human being? No. But with the obstacles and adversity that life throws at us as we go through this journey called life, absolutely. Life's not always going to go great. There's going to be some monkey wrenches thrown into the works that are going to mess everything up, and you need to learn how to fight through that. You got to never give up and push through and be aggressive in conquering those obstacles and that adversity that life throws our way. He also repeats the lines from the original Karate Kid as he's teaching. Fear does not exist in this dojo. Pain does not exist in this dojo. Defeat does not exist in this dojo. Those are all important lessons. Again, when on a metaphoric level, when life throws obstacles in our way, you got to just be tough and push through and learn how to overcome. And I think there's we've gotten to a point in society where everyone gets a trophy. There's no winners and losers. Most recently, I heard, there are schools, I think in California somewhere, banning the use of the word best friend because it makes other friends feel not as important, or they don't feel as special as, if two kids are best friends, the other kids feel left out. And that's life. That's life, and kids need to learn that there are going to be things in life that aren't fair, that aren't going to make you happy, that are going to make you sad and upset, and you have to just suck it up and push through and drive on and overcome. And it's refreshing in the way he acts, and he behaves like someone plopped from the 1980s and dropped into the very sensitive and PC climate of today, and he just lets people hear it how it is. And like I said, it's tempered a little bit. It's not as extreme as what Cobra Kai was in 1984, where beating the crap out of everyone was the ultimate goal. And on the other side of the coin, the yin and yang, so to say, is Daniel LaRusso rediscovering all the lessons that Mr. Miyagi taught him about balance in life and harmony, and how in the hectic hustle and bustle of everyday life and building a business and becoming a family man and trying to be successful and make a better life for your family, he's gotten caught up in everything, and like I said, that hectic day-to-day hustle and grind, that he's kind of lost focus and lost his way too, and he starts rediscovering his lessons, and Johnny's rediscovering his lessons, and they're both trying to get their lives back on track. And I think it's it's a great series. It's something that definitely any martial artist can connect with, but non-martial artists alike can really find a lot of inspiration from the series. And like I said, I've never been a person who watches a lot of TV series, TV shows. I'm not. I've never followed, like, people follow Walking Dead and Mad Men and other shows out like Game of Thrones. Never been my thing to sit down and watch episode after episode after episode of a show. When I was watching this show, every episode, as soon as it ended, I was like, I gotta see the next one. I gotta see the next one. I wish I was able to watch all 10 episodes in a row in one day. Unfortunately, life gets in the way, and I couldn't do that. But it's great, and it's really well written. It respects the source material of the 3 original Karate Kid movies. I was very skeptical about, like I said, there's a lot of remakes out there and do-overs, especially me being a lifelong Star Wars fan. I've not been happy with the way the source material and original characters from the original Star Wars have been treated and, in my opinion, pretty much disrespected in these new movies. This does nothing of the sort. It's very, if you were a fan of the original Karate Kid movies, this doesn't disrespect what was already done in any way, just is a continuation. It puts those characters 34 years later into 2018, and I think it does a really good job of it. And it's just it's a good series. I think everyone should check it out. I've linked up the first 2 episodes on our channel here. You can check them out under the Cobra Kai playlist. They're free on YouTube. The rest of the ones you have to sign up for YouTube Red. But I really think it's great. It's very positive. It's got positive messages, and I think everyone should check it out. So do that, check it out, and leave your comments below what you think of the series, and let us know. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click like, and as always, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to check out our other videos, and also don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I'm Casey Mazereski, and I will see you next time with our next video. Thank you for watching.